Hello, and welcome to Maury County Now. Maury County Now is a community news show covering the events, ideas, groups, and happenings in and around Maury County. First up is the United Way of Maury County's campaign kickoff video, Our Community United. After the video, we'll be showing highlights from the event kickoff.
No one is immune to the problems of our community. You never know when a family member, neighbor, or even you may need the services of a United Way partner agency. Hello, my name is Patrick Harlan, and I'm the president of United Way. The United Way of Maury County has been serving Maury County for over 50 years. When you say yes to participating in the United Way campaign, you say yes to being part of the positive change. You say yes to helping build a stronger community for us to live and raise our families. Your donation helps make sure that United Way services are available when needed. Your one gift does so much good, and the best part is 99% of the donated funds stay right here in Maury County. And the United Way honors donations to other charities. Thank you, and please consider giving to the United Way.
Well, I feel like if the United Way were not here, there would be families that would fall through the crack.
If we didn't have United Way, we'd have more fundraisers, more scouts and leaders going out trying to raise money for the Boy Scouts.
Well, we would have difficulty operating.
Without the support of the United Way, our clients would be affected because we would have to cut services.
Well, we would be unable to serve as many clients as we do.
Without funds, the United Way could not help so many programs that are desperately needed. They help people who don't have access to health care. They help children who don't have access to good school supplies, things like the Hope Clinic, the Red Cross. Everyone needs help sometime.
United Way is a very important part of our community because for those people who are in need of help and assistance, especially in these difficult economic times, it provides a safety net for those folks.
Well, I'm a Scoutmaster with Troop 111, which is part of the Duck River District, which is part of the Middle Tennessee Council. And our council and district depend on the United Way in part for the funds used to operate the troops and the Cub Scouts and everyone else in Maury County involved in Boy Scouts.
United Way helps my organization, and my organization is the Hope Clinic of Middle Tennessee. The United Way has been helping us for the past several years. The funding that the United Way provides allows the clinic to operate.
The United Way assists the Family Center with absolute financial support. It is one of our main sources of income right now, and it allows us to give more into this community.
United Way helps our organization by providing funds for transportation costs for impact centers.
The United Way helps the Hope House by providing much needed resources and support so that we can further our mission of providing innovative and compassionate services to victims.
United Way supports many agencies in Maury County, which provides a wide variety of services to meet the needs of our neighbors in the community.
Our community united means to me that we are all in this together.
It's one group of community people, community involvement to raise money for various entities needed in the community.
Our Community United is a wonderful slogan, and I suspect that much emphasis is placed on the word united. But what has the most meaning for me is our community, because this is our community, and we get to set the standard for what our community will be like. And the United Way is leading the way in setting that standard.
I think giving to the United Way is the best way to ensure that your monies are being used in the best way possible.
United Way is really, in my words, people helping people, and that's what it's all about.
Giving to United Way is so important, to give back to your community. We all need to help each other, to lift each other up, and by your donation you are helping someone every day.
Giving to United Way is important because they are our centralized entity which helps advocate for all the agencies that they fund. And they are also advocating for individuals that have needs in the community.
There may be some people that are saying, well, you know, I can't write a $25 or $50 check to CASA or the Family Center or Girl Scouts or any of the other great agencies that are listed that receive funds, but they're like, I can have $2 withheld from my paycheck, or I can have a certain amount each month.
Giving to the United Way is important because it's the easiest way to be involved in the transformation of our community.
First of all, in a practical sense, each agency which is served needs the assistance, and the important thing, I think, is that it's directed locally.
It really becomes a comprehensive plan for community needs, and so it really is a community effort. And again, it's the one unifying force in the community that provides all of those needs.
It's important for our community and our county to help the people that need help, and this, in my opinion, is the best way to do it.
Please consider giving to the United Way. Someone you know and care about may need support due to job loss, financial distress, illness, family emergency, a natural disaster, and many other unforeseeable circumstances. Your gift ensures that the United Way services are available when they're needed. The United Way of Maury County makes it possible to give one gift that supports 24 different local programs and services, as well as the Needy Student Fund in 16 of the Maury County Public Schools. With your help, we can have our community united.
Maury County Public Schools assisting students in need for school supplies, clothing, and equipment. The Middle Tennessee Boy Scouts providing care for building programs for boys. Impact Center providing services to adults with intellectual disabilities.
Next up, we have some clips from the Pizza and Politics debate, with select questions from the 64th and 69th House races, as well as the 28th District Senate race.
The Governor and Commissioner of Education are big promoters of charter schools. Where do you stand with this issue?
I guess you would say that I'm for the charter schools. The grades seem to be doing very well in those that I've looked at so far. I would like to look into them a little more. I haven't had time. There's been so many other issues. But at this point, I would really like to look to charter schools for our areas.
Mr. Shepherd, you're next.
Thank you. Good question. In 2000, when I was first elected, the charter school issue was before the Education Committee, which at that time I was a member of. And I sought out my teachers' concerns about charter schools. And at that time, charter schools were primarily being legislated or talked about to replace failing schools in our state. I voted against it in subcommittee because I wasn't convinced that was the right thing to do. The next year in Tennessee, we were able to work out some of our concerns about charter schools, and actually I voted for it because at that time there were a lot of failing schools, particularly in some of the inner cities in Nashville and Memphis and Chattanooga, where a charter school would be the appropriate thing to do. I'm a pro-public education advocate. I support completely the teachers and the public education system. I would hate that we would even think about continuing to expand charter schools in our state and replace some of our very fine public institutions. And as long as it's done in some type of methodical, reasonable way, I'm going to support charter schools only when the public school systems are being also fairly taken care of.
Mr. White?
I agree with what he just said, as long as they're fair with the public schools. The thing that I like about them is it gives closer connection with parents and their children, and I think that's important even in our public schools, that the parents need to be more involved in the school system.
As you consider higher education as a part of our culture, What do you perceive to be its value to our society? Is it credentials awarded, job preparation, quality of life, global and cultural understanding, higher level thinking skills, civic engagement, or other components? This is 6B.
I believe that higher education has a large part to do on our society, from job preparation to the learning of doctors, lawyers, and everybody else that it takes to go make this country work. Here in Tennessee, we have some major problems in our higher education system right now that we need to address. Right now, across our state and Tennessee in higher education, we have the fewest number of students enrolled in colleges right now that there have been in years. One of the major parts of this has been tuition being spiked 20% over the last few years. That's causing students to go in higher student loan debt, and many not able to afford higher education. I think to work on some of these issues, we've got to start getting our junior colleges more involved in our higher education systems. We've got to use Columbia State and with the partnership of MTSU and other colleges offering 2+2 programs where someone can stay here in Maury County and still get their bachelor's degree in college. The other part of it is we got to fund our higher education here in Tennessee. I believe we have to invest in our children's future if we want to survive in this economy. Building up a healthy middle class is the way you build and sustain a healthy economy. And by getting the people, the higher educated, or either at the Workforce Development Center and preparing them for the 21st century jobs, then that's the part that we've got to do as legislators, is make sure that those things are in place for our young generation and invest in their future.
Thank you, Mr. Brewer. Ms. Butt?
I'm happy to say that this year, more than $330 million, Governor Haslam has appropriated for capital investments in our colleges in this state. Those are things that need to be done. Those buildings need to be fixed. We need to be kept up so that our children will have a safe and good place to go to college. Now, my goal for Columbia one of these days, which would be for us to have a 4-year college here in Columbia. That would help us in so many ways, and that's not beyond the realm of possibility. Tennessee has 9 public universities, 13 community colleges, 27 technology centers. By 2020, only 8 years away, 56% of Tennessee jobs will require a college education. So a college education is extremely important. And I would like to see a lot of programs geared toward making sure our students graduate when they go to college. Maybe there can be some kind of scholarships that say, if you graduate, you don't have to pay this back. Funds that can give them some motivation to want to go there 4 years and graduate. Because employers in 2020, 56% of them are going to be looking for college graduates. I think this is an interesting question because it says, is it credentials awarded, job preparation, quality of life, global cultural understanding, higher level thinking skills, civic engagement, or other components? And I think all of these components are important in a college education. I think you go there to learn lots of skills other than just what's in the books. We all know that. You go how to learn to balance your own checkbook and grow up. I think college is very important and a great step from the children in your home who then go to college and become the adults that we need for them to be in society. So I believe in supporting our colleges any way possible, but somehow tying the work that they do in college and their achievement to them not having to pay back so much when they get out of college. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Butt. Rebuttal, 1 minute.
Talking about the Columbia State 4-year, when we moved here in 1988, we were told within 10 to 15 years Columbia State would be a 4-year school and that Columbia State would be the center of Maury County, or center of Columbia. Well, we both seen that neither one of those things have came true. I don't know if Columbia State can become 4-year, but I do believe that would be a great thing, asset here for Columbia, if we could get Columbia State into a 4-year college.
What are your perspectives on the pre-K program that is currently in the state of Tennessee. And we'll start with Dr. Hensley. You'll have 1 minute.
What question is that?
It's not on the sheet, it's just a follow-up question.
You're just asking about pre-K?
What is your perspective on the current state of the pre-K program in the state of Tennessee?
Well, I support the program like it is. I don't think we should make it mandatory. I don't think we should require it of all of our four-year-olds. Now it's an optional program, and it does cost the state quite a bit of money, but it's an optional program for those at-risk students that need some extra help. But I don't think that we need to make it so that every four-year-old student has to start when they're 4 years old. Many students do better at home, and we need to give parents and those students that option. So I certainly don't support making it mandatory for all of our 4-year-olds. Now we start students too early. Some kids even go to the Head Start program and start even earlier than 4. Some of them start at 3. But I think parents should have that opportunity to educate their children at home. If it's an at-risk student that doesn't have a parent at home, some of those children may need some extra help. But by and large, we need to keep the program like it is.
Thank you, Dr. Hensley. Mr. Cobb.
Another good question, and this really ties back. Pre-K, you think about the schools that we have here locally in Maury County. Brown Elementary that has a pre-K program. Riverside Elementary that has pre-K. We worked hard with Governor Bredesen to make sure we fully funded pre-K programs, because I know the importance that pre-K has on a young person who might not have the same type of advantages that I had coming up in a family that really made sure I got my education. But now my opponent has voted to reduce funding for pre-K during Governor Bredesen's years, and I've always voted to fully fund it, because I see the impact that it has on young people who might not have the opportunities that others have in this room. So it's a very important program, and I hope Governor Haslam will work with us to continue to fully fund it, because I see it impact many young people and start them out early in life.
Opportunity for rebuttal?
Yes.
1 moment. 1 minute.
Okay. And this program started out at first using lottery, excess lottery winnings. That's the way this program started. Then it was moved into the general fund by Governor Bredesen. Some of these budgets in the past I didn't support that had funding for some of this, because it increased the funding requirements for the local government as well as the state for a program that had started out with the promise that it would be funded by lottery excess winning money that was left over, and people didn't collect their winnings. That's how this program got started, and then it got moved over into the regular education funding, so now it's part of the funding every year. So some of these programs get started out small with the promise of funding one way and then get moved into the general fund, so it's required to fund it every year.
Thank you, Dr. Hensley. Your 1 minute rebuttal.
Remember, programs always continue to increase as our population continues to grow. Tennessee has 6.3 million people. But you think about education, we always want to continue to improve it and fund it as much as we can. And that does get back to when you look at the revenues, whether it be from the lottery or whether it be from our sales tax and what goes into the dollars spent into education. We've got to make sure we invest in our young people and invest in our education system. And fully funding pre-K is very important to the 6 counties I represent, because we have a high unemployment rate and we have a lot of kids that need to start off early. They might not have, like I said, the advantages that I had and many of you young people in this room had by having good parents that could start them off early and teach them at home. So let's continue to fully fund pre-K, and as you go home tonight, make sure you check both of our voting records and how we voted on this issue.
Hi, I'm Dr. Brandie Grace, and this is Bailey, DJ Bailey with the Pet Tip of the Month. So Halloween is fast approaching, and it's cute to dress your pets, but please make sure that they won't get overheated, and make sure they have plenty of water. And most importantly, they don't need Halloween candy, so please keep the chocolate away from them. A nice dog bone treat would do great. Thank you so much.
Next up is a new segment with a new host, Jonathan Hickerson. Here's Back Road Ramblin'.
Welcome to Back Road Rambling. I'm your host, Jonathan Hickerson.
We explore the back roads, looking for unique and eccentric features around Maury County. Today we're at the home of Buddy Harris. Buddy has a unique hobby with pumpkins. Let's see what it's all about.
I started painting pumpkins 15 to 20 years ago. Before I retired from work, I had visited a place and they had a lot of pumpkins fixed for Halloween, and they had them painted and fixed, and I thought, well, I can do that myself. And I always wanted to do it, so I just started doing it. And I've had good luck with it, and it's something I like to do. I saw pumpkins at a sale at Arts and Crafts Show, and it's something I always wanted to do, and I thought, well, I can do that too. So I did. I got some and started doing it, and they turned out real well, and the children's dentist in Columbia was interested in it, and they bought some and carried them to school, kindergarten classes at school. And this has been going on for 15 to 20 years now. I always paint a lot. My wife paints just as many as I do. Sometimes she might paint more. It's more to painting than just painting, because once you get them painted, you got to trim them out and make sure that the painting is real good, and you stay in the lines and all this stuff. It's a good job. It's a big job, bigger than people think so. So we enjoy doing it. That's the reason we do it. And I guess we're going to do it another year or two if we're able to. But we enjoy it. It's something we enjoy doing, and it's fun. If you can carry it to the kindergarten classes, and the little kids see them and they enjoy them, and that just means a whole lot to see little kids enjoy something like this. Well, they can get in touch with me if you want a pumpkin. They can call me, or I'm over on Highway 31 where the tomato man sells tomatoes. I'm usually there in the afternoons during the week and on Saturday sometimes. And I'll sell them to you there, and I'll sell them till Halloween. I have some painted ones. I don't have many painted ones left after the schools get what they want, but if I have any left, I'll sell them to you. And I'll sell them up till Halloween Day. If I got pumpkins left Halloween Day that I don't sell, if you need a pumpkin, come by and I'll give you a pumpkin late on Halloween Day.
Well, this is it for Back Road Rambling. If you would like your unique story featured, contact us at maurycountynow@gmail.com or catch us on the back roads. See you next time.
Dog Days will soon be upon us. Here's Sonjalyn Dickson Rine to explain all about Dog Days at Maury County Park.
This is our 9th annual Dog Days, a pet fair in Maury County Park. And Dog Days is just that. It is a pet fair for all animals, not just dogs. We coined the phrase Dog Days because we thought it was humorous that we hold ours in the fall, because it's just too doggone hot to hold it in June or July. Each year at Dog Days, we ask that the shelter bring some pets in for adoption, that rescue groups participate. We expect they will this year. We also have veterinarians in the county who participate. Animal Medical Clinic will be doing heartworm tests for dogs for only $10. That's a significant savings. And the Animal Clinic of Carters Creek Pike is also going to be doing free nail trims. The Vet Tech program at Columbia State will be offering medical advice on pet care, and Nashville Pet Products out of Spring Hill will be here to offer advice on nutrition, and they'll have lots of samples, they always do. Also, pet-friendly businesses and vendors will be here selling goods and products and services. Dog Days is Saturday, October 27th. It's from 10 o'clock until 2 o'clock, and we end the day each year with our now world famous pet costume contest. We love the pet costume contest because it's open to all pets. One year, my favorite story to tell about Dog Days is we were looking at the lineup before the costume contest, and we had a ferret dressed as Rapunzel with her long silky hair flowing behind her. We had a donkey dressed as Donkey, and Donkey had the whole family with him. We also had a Great Dane dressed as a pony, and he was larger than the miniature donkey. So it was just hilarious. I think the costume that won that year was actually a pot-bellied pig who had on wings, and her costume was entitled When Pigs Fly.